Hey everyone out there, a wonderful day to all of you, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have come with a new topic, that is the biography of the famous Indian playwright Girish Karnad. Girish Karnad, 1938-2019. His full name is Girish Karnad. He was born in 1938 in Matharan, Maharashtra, India, and he died on June 10th, 2019 in Bengaluru, Karnataka, India. Girish Karnad was born into a Chitrapur Saraswat Brahmin family. His father, Raghunath Karnad, was a doctor working with the Bombay Medical Services, and his mother, Krishnabai, also called Nee Mankikar, was a nurse who later became a writer in her own right. His mother's first marriage had ended tragically, and her strong personality deeply influenced the young Girish's understanding of resilience, independence, and the human condition, themes that later surfaced in his female characters. Girish Karnad spent his childhood in Sirsi, Karnataka, and later in Dharwad, where he grew up amidst a rich cultural milieu of Kannada literature, folk traditions, and a Yakshagana theatre. His early exposure to both traditional Indian storytelling and Western literary forms laid the foundation for his later synthesis of myths and modernity in drama. As a child, he was fascinated by plays performed by local troupes and began imagining how stories could be told through dialogue and performance. His early reading of Sanskrit epics, combined with his curiosity for modern Western thought, shaped his lifelong pursuit to create a bridge between ancient Indian culture and modern human experience. Education. Girish Karnad completed his schooling in Dharwad, where he excelled academically and showed early interest in literature and the arts. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Mathematics and Statistics from Karnataka University, Dharwad in 1958. That same year, he was awarded the Rhodes Scholarship, one of the most prestigious academic honors in the world, to study at Oxford University during 1958-1963. There he studied philosophy, politics, and economics, that is PPE, at a Magdalene College. While at Oxford, Girish Karnad was exposed to the works of Shakespeare, Brecht, Henry Ibsen, and Sartre, and was deeply inspired by the existential and political questions in their plays. It was in this intellectually vibrant environment that he began to conceptualize writing Kannada plays that were modern in sensibility, yet deeply rooted in Indian tradition. Literary and theatrical career, early breakthrough. Girish Karnad's first play, Yayati, 1961, written when he was just 23, reimagined a story from the Mahabharata through a contemporary psychological and moral lens. The play explores the themes of selfishness and responsibility, questioning the idea of duty and sacrifice. Yayati was the instant recognized play for its modern reinterpretation of mythology and earned him national acclaim. His major works: Over the next 5 decades, Girish Karnad wrote a series of plays that revolutionized Indian theatre. His works often combined myth, history, and folklore with modern existential and social issues. Tughlaq, published in 1964, a political allegory based on the life of the 14th century Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq. It explores idealism, corruption, disillusionment, and the paradox of power. The play's portrayal of chaos and misplaced idealism resonated with the political turbulence of post-independence India. Girish Karnad's next play, that is Hayavatana, published in 1971, inspired by Thomas Mann's work that transposed heads and a Kathasarit Sagara tale, this play examines identity, completeness, and a human imperfection through myth and folk theatre. It is celebrated for using the Yachagana style and Brechian techniques. The next work, that is Nagamandala, published in 1988, based on oral folktales told by women in Karnataka, it delves into female desire, patriarchy, and a mythic transformation, presenting a feminist perspective on Indian mythology. The next work, that is Tale Danta, published in 1990, set during the 12th century Linkayat reform movement led by Basavanna. The play highlights religious orthodoxy, caste oppression, and reformist struggles, drawing parallels with contemporary social issues. The next work, that is The Dreams of Tipu Sultan, published 1997, is a historical play that reimagines the visionary and tragic figure of Tipu Sultan, examining the intersection of colonialism, resistance, and a cultural identity. The next work, that is Flowers, published in 2004, a one-act play that explores faith, hypocrisy, and a desire using the symbolism of a priest torn between devotion and sensuality. Girish Karnad's plays were originally written in Kannada, but his mastery of English allowed him to translate them himself, ensuring both a linguistic accuracy and emotional depth. Now let's talk about Girish Karnad's contribution to Indian cinema. As an actor, Girish Karnad was also a prominent film actor, appearing in Hindi, Kannada, and English films. Notable performances include Mandan 1976, Swami 1977, Malgudi Days TV series 1986, Iqbal published in 2005, Dor came out in 2006, Ek Tha Tiger released in 2012, Tiger Zinda Hai released in 2017. As a screenwriter and a director, Girish Karnad wrote screenplays for several acclaimed films that defined the parallel cinema movement. Samskara, published 1970, adapted from U.R. Ananthamurthy's novel, exploring death and a ritual in a Brahmin community. Vamsha Vriksha came out in 1971, his directorial debut, co-directed with B.V. Karant, based on S.L. Bhairappa's novel. The next work, Kadu 1973, Ondenondu Kaladalli 1978, and Utsav 1984. The latter work, an opulent retelling of ancient Sanskrit erotic drama. Girish Karnad's films, like his plays, balance the philosophical inquiry and human emotion, maintaining his belief that art should question moral and social structures. Now let's talk about the themes and literary styles in his works. Girish Karnad's works reflect a fusion of tradition and modernity, a hallmark of post-colonial Indian thought. Key themes include power and idealism, as seen in the work Tughlaq, identity and human imperfection, as we can see in the drama Hayavatana, gender desire and patriarchy, as we can see in Nagamandala, religious reform and caste, as is seen in the drama Taledanda, colonialism and resistance, as is expressed in the work The Dreams of Tipu Sultan, faith and hypocrisy, as is expressed in the work The One-Act Play Flowers. Now let's talk about his style and symbolism. Girish Karnad employed folk theatre forms like Yachagana and Bayalata, mythic metaphors, and allegorical devices to explore modern issues. His writing is rich in psychological depth, irony, and a moral conflict, blending Indian oral traditions with a Western dramatic structure. His personal life. Girish Karnad was married to Dr. Saraswati Ganapathy, a psychiatrist, and they had a son and a daughter. He lived most of his life in Bengaluru, where he continued writing, acting, and engaging in public debates until his death in 2019. Despite suffering from illness in his later years, he remained intellectually active, even appearing at a protest with an oxygen tube, symbolizing his commitment to truth and justice. Honors and awards received by Girish Karnad: Padma Shri in 1974, Padma Bhushan in 1992, Jnanpith Award 1998, that is India's highest literary honor, Sangeet Natak Academy Award in 1972, Sahitya Akademi Award in 1994 for the play Taledanta, Kalidas Samman in 1998, National Film Awards multiple for director and screenplay, Filmfare Awards for Best Screenplay, numerous international theatre fellowships and university honors. Now let's talk about Girish Karnad's political and social engagement. Girish Karnad was a fearless public intellectual, speaking out against religious intolerance, caste discrimination, and censorship. He supported the Not in My Name and Award Wapsi movements, defending freedom of speech and secular values. He often criticized the historical glorification and communal politics, particularly through plays like The Dreams of Tipu Sultan. His public life mirrored his dramatic vision, rational, human, and deeply ethical. Legacy of the writer. Girish Karnad redefined modern Indian theatre by merging myth, folklore, and modern thought. He is credited with reviving Kannada theatre as a serious literary form, bridging regional and global perspective, inspiring generations of playwrights like Mahesh Dattani and Chandrasekhara Kambara, advocating for art as a form of moral and social inquiry. Today, his plays continue to be performed worldwide, studied in universities, and are celebrated for their timeless relevance. He wrote the work Yayati at the age of 23 while still at Oxford. He served as director of the Film and Television Institute of India (FTII) and a chairman of Sangeet Natak Academy. He was fluent in Kannada, English, Marathi, Hindi, and Sanskrit. Even on his deathbed, he reportedly corrected the Kannada script of his play being reprinted, a testimony to his lifelong devotion to art and language.